Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a very large vinyl find, music find for the month of November. I have a bunch of records here that I picked up throughout the month. I mean, obviously this is not consisting of record store day videos. This is not including the records that I picked up with Alex in Columbus. I did pick up a lot with him. Um, these are a lot of reissues. These are some new records. I've got some jazz, some used finds, and a few CDs. So I'm just going to jump into it. Hopefully, not take too long. I'll start with the CDs. Real Gone Music was having their Christmas sale around Black Friday, and we're selling a lot of records and CDs for very cheap. So I picked up 3 Christmas albums on CD. The Greatest Songs of Christmas by great artists of our time. This is mostly classical Christmas music. You have Leonard Bernstein, Morbin Tabernacle Choir, um, uh, let's see, London Symphony. A lot of more traditional choral Christmas tunes, and I think I picked this up for like $5. So some Christmas there. Also picked up Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet. This is That Holiday Feeling, just good vocal Christmas music, a little bit schmaltzy. I mean, look at that, you know, that's schmaltz right there. But Steve and Edie are huge in like the old Christmas scene from the early '60s. They do all the big Christmas songs there that you are familiar with. Plus, this has 7 or 8 bonus tracks on here as well from an album that they did later on in the decade. So, Steve and Edie. And then I picked this up. This is Rosemary Clooney doing Irving Berlin's White Christmas Expanded Edition. So apparently, the White Christmas soundtrack, there was no such thing. It was never released. There was no soundtrack for the movie that had, you know, Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye, Vera Ellen, excuse me, and Rosemary Clooney. So the different cast members kind of did their own versions of it, and this is Rosemary Clooney's. I love that cover on there. But you have, you know, the title song, Mandy. Gee, I wish I was back in the army. Count your blessings instead of sheep. So nice to have that. Okay, a couple more CDs that I picked up. This was a record store day record back in April, but then they reissued it later this year. It was originally put out as an exclusive, but then they mass produced it. It didn't make a lot of sense to me, but that's another thing. This is Marty Stewart's Space Junk. This is an instrumental album of all surf rock tunes, 20 songs. Fantastic. One of my favorite albums of the year. But yeah, they released it on vinyl and CD for the masses just a few weeks ago. So I grabbed the CD for my Marty Stewart collection. Next, I've got an album called Working Man. Willie Nelson doing Merle Haggard tunes. This is his latest. I think a lot of this stuff was recorded in 2017, 2018. It includes the last performances by Willie Nelson's sister Bobby on piano. So it's Willie doing Merle Haggard tunes, you know, If We Make It Through December, Ramblin' Fever, Okie from Muskogee, Working Man Blues. So I think this is Willie's second album this year. And yeah, cool that he's still putting them out like that. Next, this is the latest from 7A, one of my favorite boutique record labels. This is Davy Jones, Music and Memories, the MGM recordings. Davy Jones, obviously, of the Monkees. These are a bunch of tunes that he recorded with MGM. And yeah, he's got a song on here with Mickey Dolenz called Gotta Get Up. But I actually haven't listened to it yet. I've just had so much to do, and I just haven't had time to listen. So Davy Jones there. Old Crow Medicine Show. This is their new Christmas album, OCMS Xmas. Obviously, string bluegrass band, one of my favorite groups. They're out of Virginia, led by Ketch Secor. They do, you know, songs on here that you're familiar with, like Holly Jolly Christmas. They do Happy Christmas, War is Over. But then they also do a lot of cool and fun originals. So really, really a fun little album. This is the CD. You may see the vinyl a little bit later. Next, this is a kind of a surprise album that came out This is Colin Blunstone, 1 Year and More. Colin Blunstone, obviously the lead singer of the Zombies. This is when he was doing his 1 year record for the 50th anniversary, playing it live. Great songs on here. He does songs from that album as well as other songs like What Becomes of the Broken Hearted, The Tracks of My Tears. He does do the Zombies song, Just Out of Reach. This was recorded October of 2024. So happy to have that. I haven't listened to it yet because I associate Colin solo work with the fall, and I've now fully moved into Christmas. So I haven't listened to it yet, but I will. And then, like everybody else, again, I also have not listened to this yet, unfortunately. Picked up the Beatles anthology. This is the 4 CD box set. You've seen a lot of videos remastered. You also have the Anthology 4, which is new to this particular box set, with a bunch of other songs that weren't released. But it also includes that new Beatles single, Now and Then, which came out a couple years ago. So the Beatles anthology collection 1 through 4. Next, let me go really quick into some new records and reissues. I got this CD a couple months ago. This is Lost Dogs and Mixed Blessings, first time on vinyl by John Prine. This took a long time for me to get. It was delayed and delayed and delayed, and finally I received it. So I'm happy to have it, but again, it took way too long for me to get it. Yeah, and as I'm looking at it, I can see that there's a bend there. So that's unfortunate, but yeah, anyway. Later album by John Prine. I did a video on this. This is the Milk Carton Kids, Christmas in a Minor Key. Please go watch my video. Fantastic Christmas album, acoustic Christmas, duo singing, harmonies. It's fantastic. A lot of traditional Christmas tunes. If you like the cover of that album, that's pretty much what the record sounds like, if that makes sense to you. So Milk Carton Kids, Christmas in a Minor Key. Love it. Next, another really surprise record. This is the Avett Brothers and Mike Patton. Again, I did a video on this. Please go check it out. Mike Patton from Faith No More, Avett Brothers, obviously, and their collaborative album, just self-titled. And yeah, did a video on it. Kind of cinematic, industrial, folky, like all that kind of stuff mixed up. So Avett Patton, new record. This is a reissue from Chess in conjunction with Acoustic Sounds. I believe this is the best of Muddy Waters, the classic compilation by the blues legend. This has I Just Want to Make Love to You, Long Distance Call, Honeybee, Rolling Stone, which is the song that the Rolling Stones did that made them choose the name Rolling Stones. Hoochie Coochie, I Can't Be Satisfied. It sounds fantastic. It's beautiful. You know how these records are. They're done so well. And I kind of caved under pressure a little bit to grab this. And yeah, very, very happy that I did. So Muddy Waters, the best of Muddy Waters there. And while I'm showing that, let me just go and pull out the other one, wherever it might be. I think I might have left it upstairs, or it is elsewhere. I also got, yeah, I left it upstairs. Oh well. I also picked up Moanin' by Howlin' Wolf, but it's upstairs. So Moanin' in the Moonlight. So sorry about that. I don't know how I forgot that, but anyway, here is the vinyl of Old Kermesse Show Christmas, and yeah, I'll show you the vinyl. Cool red, and yeah, it sounds very fun, very cool, fun little addition to my Christmas collection there. This was a reissue that I picked up kind of as a recommendation. This is Wondermints by the Wondermints. Obviously, you have Darian Sahanaja, Nikki Wonder, all of these guys would end up playing with Brian Wilson in the Brian Wilson band and continue to play with Al Jardine. Unfortunately, we lost Nicky a couple of years ago. I did get to see him play with Brian in 2016, but yeah, these guys are the real deal. If you like sunshine, power pop kind of stuff, more sunshine pop, the Wonderments are where it's at. This is the album, first time on vinyl, and again, sounds great. And speaking of Brian, I picked up the Live at the Roxy Brian Wilson. This is also, I think, the first time on vinyl as well. This is Brian playing 25 years ago. It's the 25th anniversary. Does a ton of great Beach Boys deep cuts. This is a box set that I'm not going to go into, but you can see it's 3 discs. Really, really good stuff. And Brian, sounds great in this. It was just before Brian was coming out with the Smile session, the Smile record that he put out in 2004. But all sorts of great tunes there. And yeah, he's got the Wonderments playing with him at this point. So very cool to have that. Next, this is a record. Well, let me show this. This was put out by Chess Records. This is the Chess Records Christmas album. This is really cool. It's got all the Chess Record artists. You've got Chuck Berry, the Moonglows, Sonny Boy Williamson, the Gems, the Soulsters, Meditation Singers, all sorts of different people. You got Run Run Rudolph, Merry Christmas Baby, Blue Christmas, but then you've also got some great blues tunes like Hey Santa Claus, Christmas Blues. Yeah, really, really fun, cool Christmas record. If you like, that kind of sound, the Chess label, and really, really cool vinyl there. Absolutely love that as well. I've listened to this a couple of times, and it does sound really, really good. Chess is doing a great job. This was announced on line, one of my local record stores here. We had just recently had Robert Plant came and played in town about a month ago. Sold out show, small venue in a theater, but he signed some records that were given to my local shop, and they had them. They posted them online. They said, we're gonna have some CDs and some vinyl records that were signed by Robert. Come down and get them, and they were priced, regular price. They didn't bump the price or anything, and so I grabbed his new record, Saving Grace, and there's Robert's signature on there as well. Really good album. I need to give it another listen. Kind of this cool, like magenta-y, brown, almost kind of record. But yeah, kind of a cool little acoustic record by Robert. Kind of dark. He does a lot of traditional tunes like I Never Will Marry, Gospel Plow, Soul of a Man by Blind Willie Johnson, As I Roved Out. So really, really cool. Saving Grace, signed by Robert for regular price. This is a record. I interviewed this guy a few months ago. This is Rick's Legacy Volume 1. This is Jono Ricks and his dad Luther. Obviously, I've talked about Jono as the drummer of the Wood Brothers. I did an interview with him. Really, really good. I got to meet him when I was in Columbus with Alex from Beer and Vinyl. We got to go backstage. Jono was able to get us backstage passes, and we got to meet the Wood Brothers, which was really cool. This is a great record. Again, funky, soulful blues. If you like kind of Alan Toussaint kind of music, this is right up your alley. Lots of cool percussion, lots of great keyboards, and really cool, like New Orleans almost style music. So Rick's Legacy Volume 1, it's fantastic. Also potential for making my album of the year. This is another one produced by the Lemon Twigs. This is Playin' Dumb by Tchotchke. Tchotchke are an all-girl group that, again, are produced by the Lemon Twigs. So you've got like that great all-analog kind of sound. This is a fantastic record. If you like that, again, just kind of like fun, sunshiny kind of pop, girl groups from the 60s, kind of like, the Shalites, or not the Shalites. Who are they? Not the Shirelles either. I'll get there. The ones that sing "Leader of the Pack." Somebody will correct me in the comments. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, good stuff on here. Check out the song "Skipping Around." on here. This is, again, their album Playing Dumb, and kind of strange. It comes with its own, board game in the sleeve. But anyway, Playing Dumb by Tchotchke. Fun stuff. I was very fortunate to interview these guys as well, and they actually sent me this on the house. This is the Americana Dream by Megan and the Birdwatcher. Again, really great Americana music, but they kind of have a mix of that stuff like the band. They've also got more like blues kind of soulful singing to their stuff. It's not just mellow acoustic stuff that a lot of people think Americana is. This has a lot of grit to it, and great counterpoint between the female and the male lead vocals. So thank you so much to Megan and the Birdwatcher for sending that out. Next, You Discover Music put out some audiophile type records that they're putting out as a series called Vinyl File. There are a bunch of cool titles. I picked up 2. This is the Christmas Song by Nat King Cole. Interesting because it comes in this really beautiful packaging there. Really pretty cover. Also comes with like that Obi strip there. I know it's a glare, I'm sorry. But high quality stuff. There might have been maybe a little bit of a noise or two on this particular copy. I need to listen to it again. But yeah, Nat King Cole, The Christmas Song. Everybody knows that stuff. And then they also put this out, which I grabbed. This is the band Northern Lights, Southern Cross. This is maybe my favorite band record. This has Acadian Driftwood, one of my favorites. It Makes No Difference, which might be my favorite band song. Ophelia, Hobo Jungle is a great tune. And again, it's got the beautiful gatefold. And yeah, can't say enough good things about that album. It's packaged beautifully. Again, it comes with the informative Obi strip right here. So it's all all analog by Joe Nino Hearns at Sterling Sound in Nashville, 180 gram. So great to have those. And then I also grabbed this is Blue Note's Tone Poet series. This is In the Wee Small Hours by Frank. Again, I haven't been in the proper mood yet to listen to this. I need to listen to this at night. And right now, how I'm set up, my vinyl, my record player is upstairs where I work. And so I'm not really listening to a lot of records at night here at the house. But I do want to play this. I love this album. I know it. I know the tunes on here: In the Wee Small Hours of the Morning, Mood Indigo, I'll Be Around, Dancing on the Ceiling, not by Lionel Richie, but Tone Poet, In the Wee Small Hours of the Morning. Moving from there, I got some jazz that I got through Whatnot. This is very cheap stuff. I got this for like $5 or $6. This is Bill Evans' Trio on a Friday Evening. This is Craft, put out by, let's see, who did it say who did this? I think it's Kevin Gray, but I'm not sure. But you have Bill Evans, Eddie Gomez, and Elliot Zygmunt from 1975. This is about the time that he was working with Tony Bennett. But he does a version of Nardis by Miles Davis, which was kind of one of his big tunes. How Deep is the Ocean? So happy to have some more Bill in my collection. This is a box set. I got this for like $20. This thing goes for like $100. Sonny Rollins, Go West. This is the Contemporary Records albums. This is Deluxe 3 LP set, Mastered Analog by Bernie Grunman. But you have the records Way Out West, Sonny Rollins and the Contemporary Leaders, and then the Contemporary Alternate Takes. But beautiful package. It's done with like this hardcover, almost like alligator. You probably can't see the texture on there, but like alligator print texture. I did win a contest from Aaron Mutha Alamere, where I was able to buy a few records from his shop out there in Idaho. They gave me a $100 gift card, and one of the records that I bought was my second MoFi, Mobile Fidelity, Bill Evans and Jim Hall's Undercurrent. Now, from what I understand, this has gotten some flack in the audiophile world, of people not being fans of how this sounds. But I'm excited to have this. I listened to this album for the first time a few months ago with my wife, while we were having a meal, and it sounded great. And so I was like, I need to buy that. But it is numbered. There's a number down there. You can't see it. 14,203. So that's one of 3 albums that I bought from Aaron. I'll show you the others in a second. This is also from Whatnot. Chet Baker plays the best of Lerner and Lowe. Chet Baker, the famous trumpeter, if you will. This is full of Broadway tunes, a lot of them from My Fair Lady and Brigadoon. He's got the song, I've grown accustomed to her face, I could have danced all night. So just instrumental stuff from Chet, also from Kraft, done by Kevin Gray from the All Analog Tapes at Coherent Audio. Next, I grabbed this from Discogs, one of the few black jazz records that I still needed. Proceed with Caution by Calvin Keys. Just good. He's a guitarist, but this album has a lot more than just guitar on it. So I'm really excited to have this to add to my collection. Yeah, one of the, I think, later black jazz releases. Let me go ahead. I'll show the other 2 now. We're winding down. Stay with me. The last 2 that I got from Aaron's contest, I picked this up. Never owned this on any format. This is Paul is Live, Paul McCartney. I think this is originally from, oh gosh, maybe the early 90s, like 92, 93, 93 probably. But Paul McCartney doing, all sorts of songs. He wasn't really doing Beatles songs. Then he went on tour, and all of a sudden he's doing Beatles songs after having been in Wings in his, solo career. But, he's doing Drive My Car, Let Me Roll It, All My Loving, We Can Work It Out, Michelle. So all sorts of the tunes that, he would go on to do for the rest of his career now that he's kind of fully engaged in Beatles stuff. So Paul is Live. Happy to have that. And then the last thing I got from Aaron, I got the Half-Speed Master of Band on the Run. Very happy to have this. We all know this record. This is the Half-Speed series from Abbey Road. You've got Let Me Roll It, Band on the Run, Mrs. Vanderbilt, 1985, Jet, Helen Wheels, Bluebird, Mamounia, all these great songs on this record. And this does sound fantastic. So Aaron, thank you so much. I'm happy to have spent that money wisely. Got a couple more from Whatnot here. These were all like $6. Some later REM records I can't tell you much about. This is when REM was a trio. I got REM's Reveal from 2001. I got Accelerate by REM. This is from 2008. I think their second to last album. I picked up REM Around the Sun. This is from 2004. So yeah, can't say much about these other than I got them for cheap. This is a record that my buddy Tommy from Tommy's Musical Adventures told me to get. The Butterscotch Cathedral. This is in conjunction with a group that I like called the Resonars. Great power pop kind of group. And I've heard that this album is fantastic. This was, they only had a couple of these copies left on Bandcamp. So I was very excited to get the Butterscotch Cathedral. Next, I was able to get some Colin Blunstone records that I didn't have, thanks to Spoonful Records in Ohio, where I got to visit with Alex. There's one of their store owners was able to, she got these in, and she asked Alex, she said, would Sam be interested in these records? And so Alex messaged me. I said I was, and so they sent it to me. I paid the price, but yeah, I was able to get these. So I got Never Even Thought by Colin Blunstone. There he is, looking very Jeff Lynne-like. Again, I don't know anything about these records. Davy Johnstone is on this from the Elton John Band, and Jeff Porcaro from Toto. Ray Cooper is on here as well. Rod Argent also does backing vocals on a track. But do I know any songs? No, I don't think so. 1978, Colin Blunstone. Also got this, Ennis Moore, Colin Blunstone, again from the same batch. There he is, looking very. Let's do this. How's that look? And then this one I do know. This is 1 year. This is probably his most famous, and it goes hand in hand with this CD that I got earlier. But yeah, fantastic stuff. If you like Nick Drake and that kind of stuff, Astral Weeks, very similar kind of vibe on this record. So check it out. Next, I'm almost done. This is Gene Parsons' Melodies. Again, I'm collecting a lot of the Byrds solo projects. This is Gene Parsons, the last drummer of the Byrds. This was his second proper solo release that I've been looking for. Found it online. I got it very cheap, and then I go to Ohio. I see it there. I hadn't seen it. I hadn't seen it in the wild for ever. So Gene Parsons' Melodies, fantastic. Kind of a tribute to Clarence White, the guitarist of the Byrds, who had passed away. But check out the song Melodies from A Bird in Flight. Most of these songs are originals on here. He does do the song Hot Burrito 1 by the Flying Burrito Brothers, written by Graham Parsons. All right, lastly, I was able to put in some records. I got some store credit at my local shop here in town, and I was able to pick up a couple of grails with the store credit. They gave me about $120 in store credit, and these were some records that I've been looking for and just haven't put the money down for. This is Safe at Home by the International Submarine Band. This is their one and only record. This is the group that Graham Parsons was in just before he joined the Byrds. And this was in great like country rock kind of record. They have quotes on the back from Glenn Campbell, Lee Hazelwood, Don Everly, and Dwayne Eddy. But great stuff on here. Some stuff that he would end up doing with the Byrds, like the song "I Still Miss Someone," the Johnny Cash tune. But yeah, happy to have this. This is Sundays from 2015, their reissue, and this is in mono. I also picked this up. This is Doug Somm and Band. Doug Somm there on the front. Great cover art. This has all sorts of people like Dr. John and Bob Dylan on it. They do the song Wallflower, which Bob Dylan did, I think, during the Basement tapes with the band. Not the record I was expecting. I was expecting it to be more of a, almost like more of a country rock kind of record. And it's actually got a little bit more soul to it than I was expecting. But I've always wanted this, never picked it up. And with the store credit, he had a good copy and I grabbed it. Next, and then I got one more, which was like my ultimate grail. This was in his, really nice record collector's bin. This is a really beautiful copy of Sunflower by the Beach Boys. This is their album from 1970. A lot of people, have come to love this album over the years. This has the song Forever on it that Dennis Wilson wrote that, John Stamos would do later. But a couple of Bruce Johnston tunes like Tears in the Morning. He sings lead on the song Deirdre, which he co-wrote with Brian Wilson. But beautiful songs on here like Slip On Through, This Whole World, Add Some Music to Your Day. And then there's a Smile session song called Cool, Cool Water that makes it on here. But this is a beautiful copy. This is a $45 record that I was able to get because of a trade. And then lastly, this is an album that I have been wanting for a while. Have not seen it in the wild. And he didn't have this price very high. I would have bought this even if I didn't have the credit. But this is the Hillman. Again, going with my Byrds collection. This is Chris Hillman and Vernon Rex Gosden, as well as Don Parmley. This is a bluegrass group that Chris Hillman was in before joining the Byrds. There's Chris playing the mandolin there, very young Chris. And yeah, just so excited to have this. I think this is the first time it was officially released. I don't think it was released until the 70s. I might be wrong about that. But what's cool is this is a DJ copy. You can see he's marked some of the tracks there. But they do a version of When the Ship Comes In, which is really the only song that Chris Hillman sings lead on. You have the Gosden singing lead on so many other songs, but beautiful songs on here by Maybelle Carter from the Carter Family, Pete Seeger, Bill Monroe. They do the song Fairly Well by Bob Dylan. They do Ranger's Command by Woody Guthrie. All sorts of good tunes. Great bluegrass. It's a little noisy, but again, I've been wanting this for a long time. Happy to have it. So there you go. That's a lot of records. This is December coming up. We have Christmas, so I'm sure that when I do this video again in January, I'll have some fun Christmas records to show and some gifts that maybe I've received later this month. But let me know what you all think of these. Thanks for anybody that actually stuck through and watched this till the end. I really appreciate you. So comment below what you liked, and yeah, let me know what you think. All right, that does it for me. In the meantime, y'all be good, take care, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye now.